have my co-host today, baby. You're doing a great job. Hi, welcome. I'm Emerald, and today I'm going to talk about books. This is a little bit of a book haul and also a TBR. I haven't been buying books. I've been reading on my Kindle, but I started buying books again. I've been going to cool bookstores and I want to support them, so they were for good reasons. They're books I'm very excited about. So without further ado, I'm just gonna start talking about them. So the first three books I got at the same time. I went to a really cool bookstore in Pasadena. One of their staff members, they did that thing where they had like the little recommendation cards, and there was one staff member who had impeccable taste. I ran around the store for like 2 hours just looking for all of his reviews. So I ended up buying 3 books that were all his recommendations, and I've started reading all 3 and I love them. So the first one that I started reading is Invention of Morel. This is a very small, surreal book, and it's basically about this guy who, he's not quite stranded on an island by himself, but he's on this island alone when a group of people come to the island. He's a very unreliable narrator, and you get that feeling right from the first page, and you get fed his story and you get to decide what is truly happening, because the one thing that you know is that he's on this weird island. He's telling you all of this lore about the island and like his backstory a little bit, and then things are happening and it's so chopped up and you can tell he's just not in his right mind that it kind of gets you guessing about things. I'm halfway through. I'm really liking it. It had good reviews online and it's kind of gotten me out of this reading slump, so I'll do a video on it in the end. I don't want to spoil anything. It's such a small book that I just want to like keep it a surprise and not just go through the whole thing. And then after that I picked up Wild Milk. This is a short story collection and they're like nonsensical fairy tales. I feel like when people describe nonsensical books now, they're always a little like sensical. Books like Earthlings, anything by Mona Awad, where it's just kind of magical realism and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Those books get described as nonsensical, but this is genuinely nonsensical. This is like she threw a bunch of words onto the page. Haven't experienced a author use language like this before. She will add 2 words that they're not even like double entendres. They're like just words that slap you out of the story in the best way possible. This is one of the most delightful books I've read in a while. It's a very, very specific type of person who will like this book, but if you're into just literally no plot, just vibes to a point where it doesn't make sense. Like this book doesn't make sense. Like there's a story in here about a little kid insulting an older woman and saying, well, if you love poems so much, you should just marry poems. And then poems is an actual character and comes into play. And this old woman and poems is fighting with this child on a schoolyard. And it's just so bizarre. I love it. I can't even find like a page to read out because you have to read the whole story and just feel how everything is just subtly off. I don't know, it's so good. I want somebody else to read this so that I could also hear them rant and somebody tell me if this book is actually good or if it's just so silly that it's refreshing. But yeah, love this book. I'm having fun with it. So the next book that was a recommendation is called Parakeet. It is about a bride-to-be and her grandmother dies and comes back as a parakeet who is kind of haunting her. And I also started reading this one and I genuinely like it. It's really, really dark, having the voice of a grandmother on this bird. I feel like a lot of books that are described as like laugh out loud funny, such dark humor, aren't very funny to me, but I feel like this has the potential to be a funny book that I'll actually like, which is nice because I just read depressing things all the time, so I need a book to actually make me laugh. So hopefully this one will be that. Next up, I have a depressing sad girl book. I got a physical copy of The Girls in a coffee shop, like take a book, leave a book thing. And I'm so excited because I've been reading this on the Kindle, but it's kind of a slow read. Have also been reading Daisy Jones and the Six on the Kindle, so I just keep reading Daisy Jones and I stopped picking this book up, but I'm really happy to have the physical copy because I think I'll finish it. This book is basically a retelling of the Charles Manson's murders, but from the perspective of the girls involved. And it's not really like a true crime book at all. It's more just like a character study of lost girls in the 70s in Los Angeles. It's really beautifully written. It captures a lot of feelings that we have in girlhood in general, how we feel towards other girls and the relationship between like girls and adults and growing up and all of those lovely, sad, odd things. So yeah, definitely a sad, slow book, but I'm really loving it. So excited to have the physical copy. And then I also bought Giovanni's Room. Again, this was just a cool bookstore that I like, that I wanted support. I've been wanting to read this book for a while. I'm not cultured at all and I never read classics, but I read a snippet of this somewhere and it sounded beautiful. And I'm about, I don't know, 20 pages in and I am loving it. The book is set in, I believe, the 1950s, and I don't really want to spoil too much. Already it has hit me with so many feelings of relationships and heartbreaks and death and all of these things, and it's just a man ruminating in his hotel room in either like France or Italy, and he's talking about regrets and mortality and morals and just fun things like that. I'm really excited. I am gonna go on vacation soon and I feel like this is a good book to read on like train rides and stuff, so I'm excited to have the physical copy of this guy. And then I am extremely happy to have a physical copy of these. So I got the Q84 trilogy by Murakami. I am a huge Murakami fan. He's one of the only authors where I purchase the book every single time. I have a whole collection and I've been looking for this book split up. I was either looking for a really specific edition of this, the hardback one with the actual sleeve, or one of these guys split up. And I still really want to get that one, specifically because there's a TED Talk that got me into graphic design where the artist who designed that book cover talks about it. Anybody else also really likes graphic design and Murakami, I think it's a really good video, so I'm gonna link that somewhere around here because I adore it so much. But yeah, I'm super excited to get my hands on this. I'm not really sure what these are about. I know that it has to do with like different dimensions, but also every single Murakami book is about different dimensions and surreal stuff. So like, I feel like every Murakami book is basically the same vibe, just little tweaked, and I'm okay with that. No plot, just vibes. Like the epitome of that. Like I could not name a single thing that happens in any of his books, but I love them. I think that Norwegian Wood is so popular because it's the only book of his that you can actually kind of tell people the plot of, like, oh, it's about like death and kind of a weird love triangle and blah blah blah. Like it actually has stuff. None of, like, how do you explain After Dark? That book is just the feeling of like being at a Denny's at 2 a.m. Like this could be an entire tangent, but yeah. So I don't actually know what these are about, but I know it's just gonna be vibes. So I'm super excited, and I'm really excited that I don't have to read a book that's this thick, because big books scare me because I am basically illiterate. So I have them split up now. And then final book that I purchased is The Artist's Way. I got very influenced to buy this. Apple Cheeks has been doing a lovely series where she goes through this book, and I am so scared of this. It's basically a 12-week long workbook program thing that helps you unlock your inner creativity. And I kind of hate self-help books, but something about this is really appealing to me because it is, in my head, basically like taking a college class or something. It's so beautifully written. There's all of these different assignments that you do, like taking yourself out on dates and journaling every morning. And since I left school, I haven't had anything to kind of push me out of my comfort zones or challenge me. And I haven't had to do things that I don't want to do. Like even when I'm working now, for the most part, I'm designing what I I want to design because I'm, you know, the only graphic designer, I'm the only artist, so like I still am in my own like comfort zone. So it'd be nice having somebody kind of yell at me through a book again and force me to do things that I don't want to do. I'm not gonna be starting this for a while because it is a 12-week commitment and I want to take it really seriously when I do. So I'll probably do this in a couple months, but I'm just excited to have a physical copy, and I've just been skimming it whenever I want to, and I'm excited I have an actual book to annotate and draw all over and write my notes. So thank you for influencing me, Apple Cheeks. I appreciate that. And yeah, those are all the books that I've bought in the last like 4 or 5 months. I'm kind of proud of myself that I just have not been buying books because I love to buy books, but I've been reading almost every book on the Kindle. I kind of want to do like a Kindle haul. I feel like it's gonna be kind of boring, but also, I don't know, I'm kind of against hauls in general, and I love free books, so I feel like it could be kind of fun, like just going through my Kindle library and talking with people, because I am very pro Kindle because books are expensive and take up a lot of space, and I live and work out of the same room. Like I don't have space to have an entire library. One day I'm gonna have a massive library, but like that day is not today, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, let me know if you've read any of the books that I hauled / TBR'd and what you think about it. No spoilers please, but I'm super excited, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. All right, bye.